Yo, 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 how is everybody doing today? What is up, nerds? Nerder here, coming with a different kind of stream today. We're gonna do World Building Wednesday. Should be fun. I have been playing D&D for, 6 years, 7 years, or something like that. And DMing for half of that. But DMing my current campaign for the last 2.5 years. We've been going strong. They're only at level 10. it's taking a while, but it's been fun. It's been great. For the eventual next campaign, though, I want to start building a world of my own, rather than using one made by someone else. We're playing in Eberron right now in my current campaign, and I love Eberron. It's great. I love so much about it. But I want to create my own world. Yeah, should be fun. So, this campaign is not going to end for another probably 2 years or something. But I want to get started. I want to get started making it, because it sounds fun. I want to get it going. Pause these alerts. We had a follower in between streams.
Stupid man thing!
I am a stupid man thing. Thank you, Darman Orc. Darman Orc. I know you're not in here right now. I mean, I assume. But whoop whoop. Hello. How are you today, Diego? There you go, buddy. Did you hear all that? We're building a world today. Building a world today. Not the whole world, but maybe getting started on building a world. Nice. Glad to hear it. So let me go to my screen share. Okay, that needs to be fixed, doesn't it? Hello! Okay. Let's see. That needs to go. Boop. There we go. I have a general idea of what I want to do. I need to zoom this in or something so you can see what I'm typing easier. There we go. It's a little big for me, but better for y'all. So, I have a general idea of what I want to do for this world. Okay, so you know how if you have a fantasy setting in any kind of published thing or whatever, they always have this. Should I have the background? I think we can have the background music going. Maybe just a little bit lower. What do you think? I'm probably gonna get tired of it at some point, though. Make it pretty quiet. It's a bop. Okay, yeah. I'll keep it on for at least a while. I can barely hear it, so. It's a bop, but it might get old at some point. Maybe after an hour or so. Okay. So what? You have a fantasy setting. It always has this kind of. It always has this history, right? That's what makes a fantasy setting interesting. You know. For the published, so that you can have this history to lean back on and reference a lot for your new stories. But what I want to do is I want to create that history in the game. So I'm thinking of multiple campaigns to actually build this world. So what that means is I want to start this world building / early campaign building in the olden times, if you will, of this setting. So not much has really happened. The world is pretty new, right? The world is pretty new. So there are not a lot of gods, because I'm thinking maybe some gods are kind of created after the fact. Well, so a lot of world and world building starts with the Titans. So the idea of the Titans, the primordial Titans, that is pretty common in a lot of different mythologies and fantasy settings and stuff. And so those primordial Titans tend to focus around the elements, right? Fire, earth, air, and water. It's those Titans that kind of have. Again, I'm just talking about very vague, generic fantasy setting. This is tend to be the thing, right? There tends to be a chaos of all these elements and these primordial titans just kind of wreaking havoc on one another. Just all this matter has no order. It just kind of is, and chaotic. And then typically, the gods will come in and organize everything and create life upon it. I want to start back in that time. Not quite the just the chaos, because then we don't have any people, right? But very early on in creation, but not so early that there's still going to be plenty of NPCs and people to talk to, so it's not like they're the first humans or whatever the hell. So I'm just trying to think. But early, right? So there's not much big historical events that have happened. There's not a huge array of gods like you typically have in your fantasy setting already, because typically in your fantasy settings, it's a pantheon of gods like Greek mythology and Roman mythology. And so like in the main D&D, what is it? Forgotten Realms, you got Tiamat, the dragon god. Is she a god technically? I think so. I don't know my D&D that well. But there's like, man, I'm forgetting all of them. Can't really see that very well. Moradin, yep. Selûne, that's in Baldur's Gate. Oh, and if I get bored of this, we're gonna maybe dig into some Baldur's Gate. Asmodeus, Shar. Where's the main one that I'm thinking of? These are like the Baldur's Gate one. Lathander, Tyr. Yeah, you get the idea. Yeah. Okay. So there's not a whole array of gods yet in this world. There's maybe like a few, right? And I think how there eventually is more gods, right? That one god at this point is kind of overloaded with a lot of domains and concepts. That eventually they kind of, either from apotheosis, from just a normal human to take on some of that role, or like quote unquote birthed from that deity, kind of a second entity, and that kind of differs from themselves. But anyway, yeah, that's the idea. Early on, low magic, not no magic, because it's not a very fun D&D game, to be honest. Low magic. I don't know quite what that means yet mechanically. But yeah, basically. So I think my next campaign isn't going to be like a long campaign necessarily, but it's going to like start the foundational building blocks, if you will, of the world. So my eventual, can't say I'm familiar with what you're saying, a Samurai Jack thing. I don't think I ever watched Samurai Jack, to be honest with you. But I don't want, like, to your point, to your question, are you thinking of starting a campaign that time you're to set up another campaign? I don't want to be like, this campaign is then kind of pointless, right? There's still going to be player agency. I'm not necessarily going to have something in mind that we need to make happen. I want it to be kind of collaborative storytelling with my players, so that we can kind of tell that together. I want something I was about to say, I want something kind of climactic to happen. Right, but I guess it doesn't technically even need to be true, because the players can do their thing, right, do their campaign, and then something, maybe a catastrophe or something. It's a fantasy setting. You have to have a catastrophe or a climactic event at some point, right? There's not a lot of races yet, not a lot of different races. I think there are maybe like the main 6 or so. I don't think any of the monstrous races yet for example. Or maybe they have just came into being, so like if one of my players wanted to be like a monstrous race, maybe they're like the first one or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. Like set stuff in motion with years of training and such, and then when Jack's about to win, bad guy sends him to the future. Whoa. Holy crap, I think I need to watch Samurai Jack. You can see a lot of events in the future that were due to things he did way back then. It might be too time travel though. Yeah, I don't think in that regard though that would be kind of awesome. But no, I don't think so. Yeah, separate campaigns. My eventual campaign world I want to make, though, that this will eventually turn into, I believe, is a very... it will turn more into a sci-fi world. So, like, that idea is that, you know, the quote-unquote Earth, the main planet, right? It has descended into chaos. Something happened. So, arcanists and technologists, I don't know how you would say that, have developed a way to send these platforms into the upper atmosphere. So, like, they're still kind of connected and maybe even orbiting around the planet, right? But nobody goes down to the planet. It's too chaotic. But we have also colonized / simply explored the other planets in this solar system that people have, you know, are going back and forth to, colonize in some scenarios, getting resources from, bringing them back. Very Expanse. Funny enough, I've only seen one episode of Expanse, but I know the general idea, and I like it. But kind of the Expanse feel, that there are these different factions around the solar system. Yeah, it'll turn into kind of space opera, sci-fi campaign at that point. But that's years and years and years down the line, potentially, so... but I want to build the history, you know? And this might even be history that... you know, in that future campaign, hundreds of years in the future, right? That, you know, the players will know what had happened, right? But in reality, well, in reality, I say, in the world, what's I about to say? You know, it's all legend. It's all myth. Those things might be true, and I might have got it mixed up. You know, play with all that kind of crap. Yeah. So let's... I need to get in front of my keyboard here. Is this still good? I think so. Let me just write some general notes. We are playing through the actual history of this world and creating it together. This will be low magic, low number of let me use the new term that D&D has been using, species in the world. As in humans, elves, dwarves, maybe halflings or gnomes. Everyone is left-handed? Okay, we can make that a thing. What's another basic race? Dragonborn, not yet. No monstrous races. Orc, no. Halfling, maybe. Got a D&D Beyond here. Races. Dwarf, elf. Technically, I'd say half elves because goblin. No monstrous races. Species. No tiefling. So these are to the base 9, right? Yeah, so maybe just these 3, and then halfling and gnome, and then half elf, I guess. Half elf is always weird, cause my man, you're killing me. Cause there's a half elf, right? That's the product of an elf and a human, but there's no half other things. We'll see. Okay. Now what we can't do, I want to make these races the super basic, right? These are the most populated species in the world, but there might be like a group of Aarakocra. But I think this little list is for the purposes of the main population. Anybody else outside of those species will be strange. They'll be strange. Doesn't mean, yeah. So basically, that doesn't mean we can't have them in the world, but they will. These are like the core. That if you see one of these, it is not weird. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah, like none of these are going to be in that base. Deep gnome, yeah. A Kender, I haven't seen that before. Vardan. Can I just get rid of... Can I filter out legacy just in anything on here? Because that'd be nice. Get yourself some experience. But maybe there's like one weird race that is normal. That might be fun. And we give them a reason that they're a thing. Man, all of these are legacy. That's wild. Because what's the book that came after that? The updated monstrous race. A gerb. What the crap are these? Humblewood. Okay.
Seek fluid intake.
Oh, thank you. I will seek fluid intake. It's a lot nicer today. That's good. What, as in volume? Yeah, very crisp. Oh, that's good. Still set to like this thing, right? Monitor and output? Oh, it probably doubled up. I gotta do that. Let me try something. Welcome in, welcome in. We're doing some world building. I'm just trying to figure out, because it's gonna be very early on, low magic. Unfortunately, I saw that message, but I still liked hearing it. Maybe I should hide the exclamation point commands so I don't see that coming. Sorry, bud. You can try again later. But maybe that's the trick with that though. You gotta time it right to where I'm looking away from chat. Although I mean the chat is like right here, so if I see something move, I can pretty easily see it. So I'll have to do that. I have to get rid of the exclamation point. I have to hide those. There's a way to do that. I don't know how it's up right now. So I was saying we have, so yeah, humans, elves, dwarves. halfling, and gnome. Okay. And then maybe one weird one as a normal. Like there you see them around all the time. Who's that? What are we thinking? Not changelings. That's just a nightmare to deal with. Not centaurs. I already have human. Pay attention. None of the Genasi, I don't think. Maybe the Firbolg? That could be kind of fun. Or the Eladrin? Or the Gith? Because, you know, my philosophy going into this is, right, all of these races, like, for example, the Gith, have a... Yeah, it's true. The Gith has their origin, right, in the astral plane. Going in this, we can do anything we want, right? So I'm not necessarily going to beholden myself to any kind of mythologies, or, you know what I mean, to any kind of preset origins or preset crap. Yeah, you know what I mean. Maybe Eladrin, the Shadar Kai. Or maybe like the lizard folk, because sea elf. It's because it doesn't even necessarily have to match. You know, go with, looks like Avatar it does. Maybe a satyr. I need to change that bot. That's true for the most part. But the Yuan-Ti, turtles. The Leonin, the lion people. Let me look at something. I think I can do a poll. I don't know how to do that though. Time. Boo doo doo doo. Bow. I don't know how to do poll. I thought I knew where it was, but I don't. Is that a command I can do? Didn't say anything in the whatever. Look at here real quick. Maybe I just do it in Twitch. Let's see if I can figure this out, because I'm just curious. Do, 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 do. Heard that. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to figure out something. So I want to try to do a poll so y'all can do some cool stuff. Help me figure this out. Creating polls from dashboard and new create on for first poll. Click create a new poll. Where is that though? On the Twitch dashboard, right here. I don't have that option. Okay. Whatever. I'll try to figure that out another day. Okay. Maybe we figure that out later based on the world we create. How about that? Okay, we're gonna keep that blank for now. Do like a little low number of species in the world, low magic, not much history made. With some other identifying qualities about this early world. Not many gods / deities. Make that more general. Hello, how are you today? Welcome in, welcome in. Appreciate you stopping by. We're trying to create what's brewing. We're trying to create a new world for my eventual next campaign. I'm in the middle of a pretty long campaign right now, but in maybe a couple years, I know, right? I wanna DM in my own world. To catch you up just a little bit, where I'm trying to create this world that's early on in its history, so there's not a lot of stuff happened yet, okay? Because I want to create the history with my players. So we're trying to create a world, a template, if you will, for that purpose. So I think soon we'll get into like what our deities might be, which is going to be a low number, but we're getting there. Just trying to come up with some identified qualities. Low number of species in the world, as you can see, just a few, and then one more I think we're going to add later based on what we find. But how are you today? Do you like D&D? Are you a player? Are you a DM? Let me see. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. I think the name of the world, and create it so that level 20 characters did stuff. You lost me. So we're saying nothing really climactic has happened yet. So nothing. Long time DM, I stopped playing 5 years ago. Oh, that's sad. I hope you can get back into it at some point. Yeah, nothing big, nothing climactic has happened. It's pretty early on in its history. No big events or calamities or whatnots, because we want to create those calamities in real time / conflict / yeah. Deities. So I was saying earlier, creation myth, right? Actually, yeah, do that first. Obviously, the creation myth can't ever be proved, but we have to have like kind of a running idea. the primordial titans. I think we're gonna keep this running through point in all fantasy worlds. The primordial titans. I don't even know. Existed. Were born out of the universe. And created an endless amount of their own matter. Earth, fire, water, and air. Right? These elements existed in chaos. Until what? What happened? I think the Titans become the gods. And that's when they take maybe a godly name and rule slash. So explain a lot of weird stuff in my world. Example, in my world is a volcano that exploded. The mushroom cloud was frozen midair through a wonder of a winter god. That's cool. My world's a volcano that exploded. Yeah. Yeah, it's really neat. These elements existed in chaos. Did one of these titans see what they could... That was a quick thought. See what they could do? See, did one of these, or did all of these titans see that they could do more than just unleash chaos upon the universe? I don't know. I'm mumbling. I'm rambling. I'm making crap up. That's how world building works. I think. How about titans were sent to the world to choose the first gods from mortals? There's not mortals yet, though. There's not humans yet. I don't think, at this point. How about the titans? Let me think of that. Titans were sent. That is an interesting idea, though. Okay, let me take your idea, right? Let me twist it, okay? How about the Titans, created the world, created humans as well as other species. Yeah. They created the species. And then, to your point, they were like, we need someone to govern this because we can't do it ourselves. We need you and you and you, rise, become the gods. I like that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm just gonna put a vague sense until they created the world. Maybe they just created 2 of these races for now, and then the gods later created some more. The races have guardian gods. Oh, so like you're saying maybe a god for each species, each race? I don't know if I want to do that. Is that what you're saying? Till they created the world, and the main races. I think the Titans just created a couple of races for now, and then some of these other races came a little later. So then, therefore, the gods would just be made. Sorry, so no divine protection. But that is an interesting element. That means later on there could be this kind of conflict between the upper races and the lower races, the upper races are favored by the gods, while the lower races have nothing. That's an interesting conflict to kind of play off of, and later on. Could see priests of particular times, not catering towards the lower races, or even be racist themselves towards those lower races, because they are not blessed by divinity. That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know if I want a god for each race, though. Like the god of dwarves. Like, I don't know if I'm a fan of that. I mean, that's kind of how, I guess, pantheons, for most gods in a pantheon, usually a race has a particular god. Like dwarves have Moradin, yeah, they're typically. But then there are also other gods that don't have a particular race that worships them. That's interesting, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I don't think I'm gonna have the race gods. I think I want to have a little more complexity than that. Not that that's not. I mean, that can be complex. Yeah. Not that that's not complex, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's not the right word, but because it can make some interesting complications. So they created the world, and a couple of the species. What would the base be? Well, so if we continue down this road, what do the gods stand for? Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. If the Titans, choose the mortals to become gods, right? And say the species at that time are just elves and dwarves, for instance. Yeah. True. It's a good way to do it. Why are my bots going crazy? I don't think they should be going this crazy. Whatever. What am I trying to say? What was I in the middle of saying? Say they hear the elves and dwarves go through an apotheosis and become gods, right? Why would an elf or a dwarf choose to make... There should be humans in this world. Maybe they see a lack or a depravity of something in the world that they think this species will help with. So that could be the logic behind the creation of the new species after the gods are born. Out of maybe elves and dwarves. Let's put that for now. The elves and the dwarves. These are the two founding races. I mean that I feel like that's classic fantasy, right? You gotta have those two, the dichotomy between the elves and the dwarves. Maybe even, the elves and the dwarves, the mortals that are on the world, have this rivalry, this huge kind of budding conflict. That one of the gods says, we need to figure out how to have these two work together. Really, the goblins were made first in D&D. That's interesting. I don't think I knew that. I think the elves and dwarves were created at the same time. I think that's the idea I'm going with. And so they have this conflict, right? So one of the gods is like, or multiple of the gods are like, we need to be able to get them to work together. How do we do that? A good medium, a good middle ground species that can bring the two. A good mediator is what I was trying to say. A human, perhaps. and that's how humans are created, perhaps. But we can look at that in a little bit. The children of elves and dwarves were the human. In a way, yeah. Because I think, we'll look at a little bit later, the gods of the time, because the gods are going to be elves and dwarves originally, right? When they become a god, they still have the essence in them, I guess. So I think they're still loyal to their brethren. But maybe like 2 or 4 of the gods, 2 on each side, 2 elves, 2 dwarves that are gods, come together and come up with a solution to the problem on their world and to create this new species, the humans, for instance. Think it like that. Think it like that. Okay. The elves and the dwarves. Until they created the world and a couple of species, the elves and the dwarves. Their creation continued for a while peacefully with the elves and the dwarves expanding their territories respectfully. At some point, though, there existed a huge conflict between the 2 species. Each were extremely racist to the other. Think about the race of a creative mission mind. Humans are the soldiers. Ooh, elves are the commanders. Dwarves are the weaponsmiths. Halflings are the priests, and gnomes are the scientists. That's a very interesting idea. What is the mission, though? What is the mission, though? So the Titans did all this? Or maybe these new gods did all that? I like taking pieces of what you're saying. So we keep what we have going so far, right? But maybe our gods will have those motives to create these other dwarves. These other races. So they need scientists, right? So that's why they created the gnomes for that particular purpose. So I think I'm going to keep that in mind as well. A little piece of that, because I like that. So like our purpose, I think humans are the mediators. That's why they're created. I like to have a reason why all these different species were created. Okay. Each were extremely racist to the other, to the point of extreme violence and, but I'm trying to come up with another word. Bigotry. I don't know. The Titans decided they needed I like that too. A lot of good stuff, Hoylepa. Hey, if you're liking what you're seeing, if you want to stick around for more, I got a follower goal right up there. Anybody else that's here is welcome. We're creating a fantasy world together for my next D&D campaign. I'd appreciate a follow. Help me get to that goal. I'd certainly appreciate it. The Titans decided, and if you have any input, anybody else, feel free to chat it up and give me some good stuff. Building this world together.
Stupid man
Thank you
thing.
so much, Hoylepa. I am a stupid man thing. I appreciate that. The Titans decided they needed... I really do appreciate that. The Titans decided they needed somebody or somebodies to help them govern this world. As they couldn't stop this conflict with just the elements, right? Because the Titans have control over the elements, but they can't really do much else, really, right? As they really only have control over the elements. I know somebody's is not a word, but I'm going to use it anyway. The Titans decided they needed somebody or somebody's to help them govern the world, as they really only have control over the elements. Yes. So, Titans could simply not have understood what they have created. Yeah. And this might... We'll get there, and I don't know if this is true or not, but maybe the gods push down the Titans because they have too much control at some point later. We'll see. We'll see. They were able to grant unlimited power to certain individuals on their world. Okay, so how many gods did they first create? Again, we might get more gods later. I know we will get more gods later, but I think at this point it starts out small. Yeah. Maybe they left. Yep. Get there. I think maybe just 4, maybe 2 elves and 2 dwarves that they made gods. 6? Maybe. We could do 6. I think. Well, I don't think they're going to be based off the elements. Or are they? Plus light and dark. Because to that point, yeah, when they're choosing who, but are the Titans choosing what power those gods get? I think they're just kind of raising them, and then the gods find their own domain. I think I like that a little better. Therefore, I don't think it's going to be element-based. I think it's going to be more... Because the Titans are element-based, and they control the elements at the moment. So we don't... Well, I mean, at this point, right? Before maybe a big god conflict comes about. Before that, I think the Titans are in control of the elements. The gods are in control of the people. / anything else that is not tied to the elements. It's okay. So I don't think we're going to go elements. Gods could be the children of the Titans and mortals. Gods could be the children of the Titans. Well, they're kind of the children of the Titans. Kind of quiet, brother? Oh, really? My bad. I appreciate the heads up. How about that? How about that? Is that better? I can have my mic a little closer, too. Is that good? How's it going? It's Easy Mac. Good. How are you doing today? D&D fan, I take it? Yeah, cool. Glad to hear it. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you stopped by. Really appreciate that. We are making a world. A very early world. If you just tuned in, we're making a very early world. Low magic, low number of races / species, not much history med. Hey, I mean, you got some good stuff in there, Hoy Lepa. You got some good stuff in there. Okay, where were we? Okay. I think we're going to do 4 gods. I think we're going to do 4 gods at the beginning. And then, because eventually, right, a god's domain will be too large for a single god to handle. And then I think at that point it kind of, like, budding on a plant. I think that's not literally, obviously, but I mean, who knows? But the ideas kind of bud off and then create its own god. We'd have a few characters out of the blue who possess unexpected amount of magical power. No, so it's not no magic. It is low magic. So there are people that are magical. There are even magical items. It's just you're not gonna be able to find a magic shop in every single city you come across, kind of thing. You're not gonna have teleportation circles in every city. You're not gonna. Tech level is very low. Tech level is very low, but that's kind of the idea. Very low. I don't think y'all were here at the beginning. I was kind of saying my overall ideas for this world. So we're kind of creating the history of this world in real time. And then later on in a future campaign, right? I need to position my hand so you can see my gesticulations. Later on, we're going to have a world that's very technologically advanced, that has been shaped by what we're doing in the earlier campaign. Okay, so that super technological world will have like people colonizing other planets. Then we're gonna go sci-fi space opera with that, like a traveling wizard or sork who makes their coin off of magic, like Yennefer did in that one episode. I assume you're talking about The Witcher. I haven't actually watched The Witcher. I just know Yennefer's in that. Yeah, so like people who do magic, I think are not going to be rare. It's not a rare thing to be able to do magic. It is uncommon though. But I guess that's the case in many worlds. So between uncommon and rare, it's like I'm talking about a magic item here. Gods grant it? Maybe. I don't know. We're not there yet. Y'all getting ahead of yourselves. We're in the creation myth. But we'll get there. You're good. You're just going to get me distracted. I'm going to go off on some tangent and I'm going to lose where I'm at. Okay. They're able to grant... Okay. So, they granted this ability to 4 mortals. 2 elves and 2 dwarves. And this is all subject to change. We're just kind of creating a... yeah, we'll get into the creation of magic, I think. Yeah, that's an interesting, because I don't know if we're gonna go like the weave with it or something else. I don't know. They granted this ability to 4 mortals, 2 elves and 2 dwarves. These 4 mortals. What's apotheosis is the word I'm thinking of, where you become a god, right? Oh, apotheosis just means the highest point in the development of something. Interesting. No, but also called divinization. Apparently that's more abstract, but yeah. These 4 mortals become gods. These 4 mortals ascend into godhood. I like that better. Ascension, yeah. These 4 mortals ascend into godhood. Like I was saying, at this point, they weren't created to be in charge of a domain, or a particular domain. Oh, you're good. There you go. These 4 mortals ascend into godhood. They weren't created with a domain in mind. They were really just created by the Titans that were like, oh, we don't know what we're doing, so you guys deal with it. And they give these 4 individuals unlimited power, which can... it's probably going to bite them in the ass later. Let's be real. How's everybody doing today? Any newbies coming on in? Welcome. The Nerder are here. We're creating a world from scratch. So please feel free to hop in the chat and help me out. Incompetent gods. Yeah. Well, so I think the Titans chose the most prolific mortals, or the most certain to the most prolific individuals. I'm using that word right? What does prolific mean? It just means like important, right? Producing young or fruit especially freely? What? That's not. What? Oh, okay. I think I used it right. You could have chosen the royal couples. Oh, the royal couples. Like maybe the. That's interesting. Where the. Such as. Yeah. But because I think there might have been like multiple clans of elves and multiple clans of dwarves. So not necessarily the king and queen of the elves, right? But that idea. I think the two dwarves that had the most power, and the two elves that had the most power. Yeah, I think so. Such as the rulers of the dwarves / elves. So that they think if they're noble enough, they can ascend to divinity. Before this, but are you talking about after this? Are you talking about after this? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I like that. But I mean, the dwarves could have the same, but maybe they don't. Yeah, after this. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. The idea that the elves, know that this happened, right? The dwarves also know that this happened, but the elves saw this and be like, I can be super noble and ascend to divinity myself. But the dwarves are more kind of heartstrong and, what's the word? I don't know what the word is. But like, they ascended into godhood because they were the best, and we can only strive to be that great. They were kind of more, what's the word? Honorable about it. I like that idea though. Yeah. These four mortals ascended into God to hopefully find a peace between their two communities. Man, I'm gonna lose my voice after this, guys. Y'all are making me talk. Anybody watching it, I would certainly appreciate a follow up above. We're trying to get to our goal of 50 followers. We actually have 27 right now. I don't know why it doesn't update automatically. But if I do this and then do this and then do this, do boop, 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 that. 27. Haha. Dwarves, I didn't hear to the king as he was immortal. Why should I do it now, even if he is a god? Oh, that's the logic. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't heart to the king. What are you trying to say there? I didn't love the king. Is that what you're trying to say? As he was immortal, why should I do now, even as he is god?
Stupid man thing!
Thank you so much. It's Easy Mac. I really, really do appreciate that. I am a stupid man thing. Thank you. Did y'all hear that all right, out of curiosity? The stupid man thing? They saw... Simple, they saw the king as a tyrant, yeah. How long you been streaming for? Not long, brother. Recently, just like the last week. I've been playing Stardew Valley for the last week, basically. Yeah. But I do have quite a few followers already. Quite a few, as in compared to brand new streamers. Because I've like a year ago, I was streaming a little bit, so I got some followers at that point. But this world building is bringing out some new people, which I like. So I might keep doing this for a bit. Hoy Lep is lurking. Good to know. Cheap viewers on star. Hey Shay One. I'm good, thank you. I appreciate the message though. Feel free to give me a free follow as well. Back in half hour. You got it, Hoy Leba. Appreciate your help so far. Yeah. Whenever people come in and do like self promos or link sharing, I just hope to get a free follow off of them. That's my hope. Okay. Man. You'll distract me so badly. Are you still in here, Diego? I haven't heard from you in a bit. Hopefully find a peace between their... Always. Okay, heard that. Heard that. I'm sure you are somewhere inside you, Diego. You just gotta bring it out. This, what do you call this? This coalition? No, this, what did they call the group in Lord of the Rings when like a bunch of different people got together to go help Frodo take the ring to Mordor? Fellowship. Thank you. See, you have a use, Diego. Don't sell yourself short. This fellowship. Yeah, Fellowship of the Ring, right? Isn't that what's called? Idiot. First movie's called Fellowship of the Ring. Dingus. This fellowship of now gods came together to find a solution. After much back and forth debates and arguments and petty squabbles, they found that their solution they found that they couldn't come up with anything. Therefore, they decided to use their godly powers to create a new species. Could you argue at all that a human is in the middle, like physically, between a dwarf and an elf? So we can say they got the ears of the dwarves, the height of the elves. Can you like do more things like that? Does anybody have anything that they can come up with? Because I mean that's the idea we're going for, right? They're coming up with another species that is the middle, that is. That shares qualities of both of them, that they could see both sides, and that they could help mediate a solution, right? And I'm digging this. Is somebody else digging this? I'm digging this. Hey everybody, how's it going? feel free to chat it up. Help me build this world with me. If you don't mind, I would love a follow. If you look up at the top left there, that's our goal right there. 50 followers. I would really appreciate that. We're trying to come up with the kind of the creation story. Maybe because they're not either full elf or dwarf, their lifespan got shorter. That's cool. That's cool. Because dwarves live long, right? Like 300, 400 years, and elves are like 800 years or something like that. Typically, I mean, like I said, we can do whatever we want, but that's the typical thing, I think. If anybody's curious, my tattoo. I can't easily show it to you. It's Stranger Things though. This is very hard to do on this camera. That's the Mind Flayer. There's the kids. See upside down. That's the Demogorgon. I know it's very hard to see. I'll have to take a picture at some point. Oh, the D&D crew will like this. Here's my other tattoo. It's like a geometric style dragon with a D20 in the middle. I love that tattoo. I love both my tattoos. Hey, doggy. You can see the dog for free. Say hi, Naboo. This is the stream now, guys. This is the stream. This is all we need, right? Okay. That's a creative one. What did I say? Oh, the dragon tattoo. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of combined two different designs in Photoshop, so it's kind of mine. It's enough to where I can say it's my design. Say that. Okay. Therefore, they decided to use their godly powers to create a new species, the human, which would be, excuse me, almost a perfect middle ground between their two species. They would have the height of the elves, sort of. You know, I mean, obviously humans are typically shorter, but I mean, close to that height, right? They would have the height of elves, but the ears of dwarves. Yeah, you could say they're actually an imperfect combination of the two races. I like that. They would be obviously this is all like, you know, draft stuff, but I still like to find the right words within this, just because that's who I am. They would have the height of elves, but the ears of dwarves. I want something else like that. Let's see if we can come up with something else. They would have the foundation. Have to be clear. Yes. And I like to, when I have a sentence like that, I want to make another sentence like this. They would have the height of elves, but the ears of dwarves. They would have the blank of elves, but the blank of dwarves. Let's come up with another one. They would have the, I don't want to say intelligence, because both elves and dwarves are intelligent, just in different ways, right? They would have the sophistication of elves. They would have the, typically in fantasy settings, they say the human qualities are like adaptability. Because humans are going to have qualities that don't come from one of the other two, right? They kind of just develop on their own, being what they are. And over time, having to, for example, adapt to this world of elves and dwarves. So, adaptability is, they're just going to, you know, get from living in this world. So they don't get that from elves or dwarves necessarily. But they would have the, Anybody got anything? They would have the... What of elves? What do they have of elves? The humans. Humans. What do they have of elves? What do they have of elves? What do they have of elves? I just had something earlier, but I forgot what it was. Because we can... This can be personality based as well. They would have the... Or likely qualities. Wisdom was good. Wisdom was good. Wisdom was good. They would have the wisdom, yeah, of elves, but the I had an idea for dwarves. I'm just trying to come up with the right word. The not the spunk, but the stubbornness, as I think is where. But stubborn is a negative term, right? But it is that quality, just in a better word. What is that word? If you're stubborn, you're forthright. And the forthrightness of dwarves. And the hard-headedness. What are we trying to come up with? What's that word? Strong-willed. Hey, Kex, how are you doing? I'm strong-willed. That's the idea, but the strong will of the dwarves. I think so. Let me type that. See if I like it. But the strong determination. I think that's the word I'm thinking of. I like strong-willed, but I think I'm thinking of determination. But the determination of the dwarves. Yes, I like that. We got there though. I think the strong will helped me to get there. How you doing, Kex? I appreciate the chat. I see you're a DM. I am as well. I've been DMing my current campaign for the last 2.5 years, and we are only at level 10. It's been going strong. And that is actually not because we don't play very often. We play every single week. Apparently, I don't level them up very quickly. Apparently, I'm learning that. We also spent like 5-6 of those months on a different kind of side campaign thing. So that's part of it. Anyway, but the determination of the dwarves. I like that. Cool. We got there. Hello, 3 geese in a trench coat. I love your name. I love it. How are you doing today? Thank you all for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. This has been a great idea to do this world building stream. I love it. We are building our world from scratch, but we're starting very early in our world's history. In most fantasy settings, you'll see they already have this kind of pre-written history, and that's ideal, right? So that your current adventures can reference that, blah blah blah. But I want to create that history in real time with my players in my eventual next campaign. Again, it's probably not for a while, but I want to create that history. So we're kind of going back to the beginning. We're not going to go too far into our world's history, basically, because we want to create that. I'm alright, prepping my first one-shot. Awesome. Have an encounter with a gauntlet troll, but I don't know what range to start the encounter at, depending on if they succeed or fail their stealth roll. I don't know what range. Have an encounter with a goblin patrol. Fail their stealth roll. I guess it depends on the scenario, right? If the goblins are kind of patrolling past them, right? And are the players maybe hiding in the trees? Because if they see them there, I would not too far, right? Not too far, maybe 15-20 feet. But I think it depends on the situation. Oh man, I'm gonna need some more water. I am talking a lot. Let me go get some more water, guys. Please do not go anywhere. This has been so much fun. Yeah, I will be right back though. Enjoy this amazing music. Alrighty. I'm back. Yeah, man, I should just keep doing D&D combat content. Brings all the nerds out, huh? If you like what you see and you want to, keep getting notified of when I go live. Please, I'm trying to get to 50 followers up there. If you could lend to that, I would certainly appreciate that. Really, really would. This has been so much fun. This is my favorite kind of brainstorming, is when I get to bounce off of people, get other people's ideas, and take bits of that, and bounce until we get to something amazing. So, this has been so much fun. Okay. So what we have so far in this creation myth, right? If you haven't read this, we have the Titans. They created with their elemental power, right? They created the world. Oops, sorry if that was loud. They created the world. They created humans and not humans, dwarves and elves to live on this world, right? But the dwarves and elves got into this huge conflict, this continuous conflict that is, leads to violence and all kinds of crap. So the Titans thought to grant power to some of these mortals to make them gods, basically, and so that they could find a solution, because the Titans have control over the elements, but they really don't have control over anything else. It's like including, the people, really. Besides granting power, but not the people themselves. So they have no idea what the crap to do. So they're like, it's your problem. Basically, to these 4 individuals, the 2 dwarves and 2 elves. They granted this power. What was I going to say? Now these, we might get into that, maybe not, but these 2 dwarves and 2 elves were very high up in their respective communities. Wait, I just realized I put respectfully somewhere, and I meant respectively. Right there. I'm kind of a what do you call it? I don't know what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I just lose track of what I'm trying to say. We're just gonna continue. But yeah. So these 4 gods were created, were risen up to their newfound power, tried to come up with some kind of solution, but were unable to. Therefore, their solution was to create a new species to help find that solution. So the human would act as a imperfect combination of their 2 species. So the height of the elves, the ears of the dwarves, the wisdom of the elves, the determination of the dwarves. Yeah, so that's where we're at. To keep everyone up to date. Sorry if that was loud. These new humans were able to mediate between the dwarves, the dwarven and elven communities to find a solution, which was to basically stop expanding. Keep to your own. Don't go out too far. Yeah. I don't know why they couldn't come up with that before the human, but they didn't. So the human, I think maybe it was that this new, what the hell is this thing? The dwarves and elves were like,
Stupid man thing!
well, thank you, Nodi Sakura. Thanks for the follow. I am a stupid man thing. Thank you. Is this a quote? If it's a quote, I don't get it. If it's just a funny thing, cool. I don't have good guards. I need to work on that. I am a stupid man thing, though. Hoylap is back! I enjoy entering new D&D with that streams as my old characters occur. Ah, I see. Yes, the 26 stealth did pass me by. It did. With cookies. Oh my god, can I have some? Can you fax some over to me? Which was to basically stop expanding. So now we got. Can I just open this and? No? Did that not work? One sec. I'm just curious. Did that not work? What does that say up there? 28 followers? I should have 29. I'm getting too worked up about it. Okay. Never. Oh, rude, Hoylepa. I've been trying to pick up my feat for my character Ricaria Moonridge, but it's so complicated. There are so many feats. There are so many feats. Super basic ones are tough. Tough is always fantastic. Gives you a butt ton of hit points. I mean, depending on your level, but it gives you 2 extra hit points per level. That one's so good. So good. Otherwise, I think it would just depend upon your class and what's gonna be good for you. Yeah, what's your base idea for the character? Yeah, I was about to say. Apparently, it took this weird new species to come out of nowhere and tell the elves and dwarves what to do for them to listen. Do the gods, these new gods, can they keep communication with their former communities? If you're a DM and make an NPC betray that really takes the players off, would you retcon the betrayal? No. I mean, it ultimately depends. I mean, it doesn't really depend. If you made that decision to have your NPC betray him, and like they were always like you were kind of planning for that to happen. They were always kind of on the other side. I mean, you made the decision as a storyteller, right? If it ticks the players off, I mean, it certainly tick the characters off, so the players are going to be kind of ticked off as well. Then I mean that's part of what makes a betrayal the betrayal of it. Yeah. Big story beats like that, I wouldn't necessarily retcon. If players get pissed off enough to leave, then that player doesn't respect your storytelling ability. They don't respect the game, to be honest. That's tough though. If that's actually a situation you're dealing with, that is tough. I don't know. If it's multiple players, then I would I don't know. I would try to find a solution. I'm not sure what that would look like, but that sucks if you're dealing with that. If that was hypothetical, then that would suck as well. Nerdy Sakura. So Ricaria is an innocent youngster who left her hometown to seek fame. In the process, gained 2 titles. First was Knight, and second was Royal Lady. Wow. Well, one protection fighting style, so she wants to protect the weak. The issue is she's a rogue. Don't start with the proficiencies. The protection fighting style. So are you saying you're not proficient with a shield, so therefore the protection fighting style wouldn't be very good? Is that what you're saying? You could try a shield or armor proficiency. So. Interesting. I mean, yeah, your protection fighting style that you kind of want seems like a narrative option, right? A narrative decision that you want to make, ideally. Yeah, because protection fighting style, you would need to be proficient with the shield. Is that the issue? Um, Need more water. What was I about to say? We do have a point system in this chat, by the way. If you exclamation point points, you'll see how much experience you have. Oh, look at that. The bot just... We have experience channel points, and you can use those points. You can use those experience to redeem various items, as you can see there. Hoy Lepa already has 130 points. Crazy. If you follow, you get bonus points. I think you get like 70. Get 70 experience for that. You have a pick feats based on narrative. I have Lucky, Ritual Caster, and Mountain Combatant due to the narrative. And yes, not proficient with shields. Yeah. So, I mean, protection fighting style, it would be the narrative choice that you're going for. But, I mean, if you're not proficient with shields, I don't think there's much of a point. Alright, let's get back to what we're doing here. Y'all feel free to keep chatting about your character and back and forth, but I think I'm going to try to get back in focus. But I also love talking with y'all about your characters and what you can do with your different feats and stuff like that, so, I mean, I don't mind it. Okay, so we have... Let me just kind of do a... At this point, we have 4 titans present, 4 gods, 2 elves, and 2 dwarves. No domains in particular for those gods. And we have 3 species: elves, dwarves, and humans. That's what we have. That's what we've built so far in our creation story. Okay. That's true, yeah, you could get your proficiency from elsewhere. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think about that. Yeah, if you dip in fighter or hexblade, yeah. The magical tattoos are pretty cool. I just gave my players some magical tattoos recently-ish. They're pretty awesome. If y'all are curious, any players joining us, I'm the Nerditor, by the way, for any newbies. We're building a world together, and it's been a lot of fun. Hoylepa, she's saying to get the Nerdy Sakura is saying to get the proficiency in shields. That's why they're looking at that. But we're building a world together, building this brand new world very early in its history. So we're going over the creation myth right now. But if you're curious, I've been playing. You're a man. Okay. Good to know. I just forgot what I was saying. I've been playing D&D for about 6-7 years, I think, and been DMing for about half that time. I'm in DMing my current campaign for about 2.5 years. We're in Eberron. That's what I'm DMing in. I have 4 players at the moment. We have gone through, you know, a couple changes in our players, but at least had 3 that's been the same for the entire time, including my wife. Yeah, last stage effort to get the proficiencies right. But if you are near here and like what you're seeing, if you want to build this world together with me for a while, for the foreseeable future, look up at the top left there. I'm trying to get to 50 followers. I'd certainly appreciate a follow if you can lend it to me. Thank you. So at this point, we have 4 titans that created the world. They created the elves and the dwarves. But then elves and dwarves got into conflict, so they wanted this fellowship. So they granted godly powers to these 4 individuals, 4 mortals at the time. Kind of the royalty of, or the 2 elves and 2 dwarves that were very powerful in their respective communities. They made them gods, and their solution for the dwarven elven conflict was to create a new species in the form of a human, which is kind of an imperfect combination of those 2 species. Being a man thing. Hello there, Great Dini Gaming. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in and chatting. I really appreciate that. Yes, like my mod here, Big Surfbra, has said. If you want to hear about me being a man thing, just click that follow button and you'll see what that means. The funny issue about the tattoos is that to go that route, Rikaria would have to ask her parents for permission. That is rough. Speaking of Big Surf Bra here, he is out of the state right now where I live, but he was in my campaign that I'm running for quite a while until he had to move for a little bit. But when he comes back eventually, he should be joining again. So it was fun. He had a big plot story thing that got him out of the campaign. Basically, he turned evil and killed like two of the party, but then had a what do you call that? A redemption arc. And brought back to life at least one of those people, but then he died and disintegrated because of his corruption. There you go. Now you know. Isn't that right, Dylan? Oh, I don't know if you want them to know your name. Isn't that right, Big Surf Bro? Would you like to see a dog? You see a lump of a dog. Naboo. Anybody into Star Wars? All my pets are named after Star Wars things. This is Naboo. She's not looking up right now. Okay, let's continue the story. So we got through the base races there. We got the gods. After this conflict was resolved, for now, the Oof, 51 damage. That's rough. That's an interesting combination of rules there. Neat. After this conflict was resolved for now, the new gods give me the tank of her party. Okay. Emotional damage. The new gods wanted to find their own identities within their power. This is where we're going to name. So I think they want new names as the gods, and they want to create a domain for themselves. Just trying to build up a world in general. Already got a bigger world ID mine, now just working on creation method gets you to that point. So again, mine just a big world, but for now. Okay, so I have a general world idea in mind. But no, basically building up the world in general from scratch, pretty much. For my eventual next campaign with most likely my current players. We're in the middle of a campaign that's probably still going to last another 2 years, so it's probably the one after that. No, yeah, you're good, Great Dina Gaming. Yeah. Yeah, the world we're building, the world we're building, the eventual, most fantasy campaigns already have a pre-written history, right? So that you can reference back to and stuff. That's pretty standard, right? But I want to create that history with my players. So we're basically, the world building is a very early world. No big conflicts have happened. No big climactic events have happened. No big apocalyptic whatevers have happened. There is low magic. There is a low number of species. There is a low number of gods, probably. Right now, there's only 4 gods, but I think by the end of this creation story, there might be like 6, maybe. Yeah, I think that's everything. So yeah, so we're building the creation story just to get kind of a baseline, and then in the future we'll be going into like the cool, yeah. Larkin is plenty good. But later we'll be even going into the why am I not a stupid man thing? What? Why didn't that work? Well, thank you. So much for the follow, Great Dina Gaming. I don't know why it wasn't called a stupid man thing. So that's a little disappointing. I didn't. The alerts are not paused. But I think something's messed up because I'm trying to pause alerts and nothing's happening. Yeah, it did work for you. You did step away. I mean, it did step away. No, I actually paused alerts, funny enough. No, they weren't paused. But it is being weird. So I think there's just something weird going on. I'm going to emulate an event and see if that works. Nothing's happening. Yeah, who pressed the red button? Who messed this up? Which one of you did this? No, that didn't even work at all. I think maybe Stream Elements crashed or something. Yeah, I'm trying to like get to the overlays on Stream Elements on the browser here, and it's not loading. I think Stream Elements crashed. Stupid man thing. Okay, there you go. That's what it says to me. That was a perfect recreation in my opinion. I really do appreciate that. Great Dina Gaming. I really do appreciate that. What do we got? 30 followers. Amazing. Amazing. All of you are amazing. It was a big surf, bro. Okay. Pretty close impression there. Thank you. There's some like big footsteps too. I can't really. Stupid man thing. Sorry, was that awful? I will never do that again, I promise you. Was that awful? I feel bad now, actually. My world doesn't have dwarves. New gods wanted to find their own identities within this power. Okay. So they did. Okay. So we have. Let's get some god names, guys. Some suggestions for my deities' names. We have 4 deities, and they will have, the different domains. We don't know what those are yet, though. So I don't know which way to go. Should we go domains first? Or should we go names first? Because I don't think the name shouldn't necessarily be determined by the domain, but it could be. It wasn't awful sound-wise, but awful as a tech person because so bad to hit a mic. Okay, good to know. I will never do it in your presence again, Nerdy Sakura. I will never do it in your presence. Um, deities. Is that how you spell it? Yes. We have 4. We have 2 dwarves and 2 elves, but yeah, that's the streaming Stardew Valley weekdays. I might do some more of this stuff because this is getting all the nerds to me, and I appreciate that. We have 2 dwarves and 2 elves, but they're not necessarily going to be dwarves and elves anymore. You know, they're the gods, right? They're gods. They just are. So it doesn't necessarily have to be related to dwarves or elves. Their identities, that is. Why? Because they live there. Why you found that? Ooh, that is a good. What's the word? That is a good rule. That is a good practice. Experiment. I don't know what the word I'm trying to look for, but I like that. To annoy the dwarves. That's funny. Streaming D&D and Worldbuilding will definitely bring the nerds out. That's right. That's right. I don't know what I was expecting out of this stream, but it was not 10 viewers. That's for sure. I was gonna say, yeah, if I got bored of this, I would switch to some Baldur's Gate 3, but this is going great. Okay, so maybe let's create the domains first. So the first deity will be something, I don't know. Just put a thing there, and then the domain, we need like a, oh dang, time travel, extraplanar portals. I feel ya. If all of life had to be encompassed into 4 domains, what would those domains be? Again, this is not going to be like the god of an element. There's not going to be elements within these domains. There's not going to be particular species within these domains. But I think everything else, so like death, right? So that's a big one. The god of the underworld, the god of death. But I feel like that actually, just life. Maybe there's a god of life and death. That would be interesting. So they're who you look to for yeah, they're who you look to. All you can think of is Avatar. What? In what context? Nature. Yeah, true. Okay, so let's do life death for now. Let's see how we like that. Because I like the idea of somebody praying to this god for their new baby, that they're healthy, but also praying to that same god if their father dies. I like that idea because the elements. Oh, sure. I thought you were thinking of blue people. I was like, how's that related to anything we're doing? Fire and wind. Yeah. See, so we're not going to do elements. We're not going to do elements for the gods, because the Titans are still present. So the Titans are in charge of those elements. Their particular elements. Because we do have 4 Titans. We have 1 of each element. Yeah. So life, death, nature. Yeah. Should be a nature god. That might encompass even more things. So I think, and these base gods, because we're going to have more gods eventually. The fire of war brings the wind of change. That's an awesome line. Is that from something, or did you just come up with that? Because that's amazing. So these 4 gods are just going to be for things that have to exist, right? So war and peace, I don't think is going to be one yet. That god of war and peace might come eventually down the line, but I don't think it's here yet. Just came up with that? Oh my god. It's amazing. May have messed up badly with your world building. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You can always undo. Press that Control Z. Taxes. Oh, that always has to exist, right? Yeah, okay, let me put that down. Decay or attrition. What? Attrition? A god of attrition? There should be 8 million gods, like in Shinto. Shinto Japanese. That sounds right. Death and taxes, yeah. Now that's from something. What's that from? Meet Joe Black. God of handcraft and constructs. Again, I don't think quite yet. That doesn't have to exist early on. I think all these domains are things that exist and they need someone to watch over them. But maybe handcraft and constructs. Maybe like the god of invention. Ben Franklin, that's right. That's right. Like god of buildings, yeah. Maybe. Civilization. We could do civilization, and that could be that handcraft and contracts could be under that. But like I was saying before, that could be one of those things that kind of branches off and create its own god at some point. I need my camera bigger so y'all can see my gesticulations, because I gesticulate a lot. Let's do civilization. Let's put that in there for now. Food, agriculture. Yeah, I think so, under nature. Agriculture probably under civilization, though. We can kind of make these like little branches to remind ourselves from later. What'd you say? Food, agriculture, water. Water, food. Yeah. Agriculture. Building. Handcraft. Or just craft. What else we got? Anybody else? Taxes. Taxes is definitely under civilization, let's be real. I don't know why I'm actually typing that, but I'm doing it. Feel free to take a look at what you can redeem with your points there, with your experience. Magic domain? I don't think this early. I think that might come later. Because at the creation myth, I don't think there is magic. Or is there? Is there magic? No, I don't think so. Maybe like, what would you call it? Like peace between the species? Like, is there someone now just in charge of peace? Knowledge, maybe knowledge. That might go under civilization, but I could see knowledge being its own thing, because there's definitely knowledge outside of civilization. Let me type that down, but I still want more ideas if y'all got them. I'm gonna put a question mark next to that for now. I like knowledge. But what was I saying? Like someone in charge of peace, the god of peace, perhaps. The god of, what would you call that? Light, darkness, justice, the god of the written word. Again, another just cool sentence from you, Hoylepa. But that's like a very specific thing. I don't think that's it. Light, darkness. So what are they? So are they in charge of like the sun crossing across the sky? and the moon. Like, is that what they're in charge of? Great Dini, the light darkness. Because I'm trying to think of not just God of diplomacy. Maybe, yeah. I think that's what I was thinking earlier. Yeah. Because I want these to actually be actual roles, right? Not just titles, right? They're actually in charge of something in the world. The God of time, no. But time could be under like light darkness maybe because you're kind of controlling that. Not like good evil, more the actual physical world. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because like these guys were created to help with a particular conflict, but now that they don't have that conflict, they need to find roles to help the world in. Okay, we went through a lot of stuff. Let me go back through these. Diplomacy, that is what I was saying, but I don't think that could be a god in itself, to be honest. Thinking about it more. Knowledge. Light darkness. Justice. God of travel. That's more a specific one. That could maybe come later. Justice. Maybe the god of justice? That's probably under civilization. Justice. God of protection. Yeah. I need more like higher level stuff, I think. I'm still thinking of knowledge. It's probably knowledge, right? It's probably knowledge. Light dark, though, I'm kind of going between light dark. Light dark I think is too specific. Would light dark go under life and death? Probably. Because like life, the god of family, yeah, family would be under like life death probably. I think we're gonna go with knowledge. I don't know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about knowledge? Time under life death? Yeah, I think so. What would go under knowledge out of curiosity? I mean, obviously a bunch of stuff. Eventually, the god of magic. Would time go under knowledge, though? Yeah, okay. we're on the same mind, Great Dini. We're on the same mind. Again, these are just kind of categories that are under that. That's not actually like things. I mean, but no, they are in charge of all that right now, so it is important to point out, I guess. Could go under either, yeah. I agree. I think knowledge makes a little more sense. No, you know what? No, time is under life and death. And again, that's not really a thing that, that God would have direct control over necessarily. Time just kind of goes on its own, I think. But it's important to kind of distinguish that, I think, for later. I'm just thinking. Okay. I think that's enough for the domains for now, right? So we have life and death, right, as the broad term, nature, civilization, and knowledge. Now, later, because I was saying, like, another deity could kind of grow out of one of these, because that deity, like, let's take civilization. Could war peace be sought under knowledge, like the wisdom tone when to do it? Yes. Or would war and peace be under life and death? I could see either. What do you think? Because war is death. Let's be real. But I mean, War and Peace is more so about knowing when to do which, right? And about diplomacy. Like under knowledge, I think would be diplomacy. War and Peace. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think those would be under knowledge. Yeah, I like that. I like that. And we get that diplomacy element that I was talking about earlier, and Hoy Lepa was trying to help me with earlier. Yeah. Knowledge could also be happening because of misunderstanding. Yeah. Or to be under civilization. Civilization fight each other. Yeah, but I see civilization as more of the building of civilization. But I guess that could also be the destruction of civilization. So maybe. Yeah, those two categories are encompassing a lot of the same things. Life and death and knowledge. Yeah. I think life and death is more so about the metaphysical. About their... the metaphorical rather than the literal knowledge. I think... Does that make sense? I'm not sure if it does. Yeah. I think life and death is more metaphorical, more metaphysical. Yes, they are dealing with people that die and ushering them in, but it's more so about that essence rather than the actual knowledge of diplomacy and war and peace and... Yeah. So I think that works. I think that works. I could see it under civilization, but I think I like it better under knowledge. So they were given knowledge but don't understand how to act on it. Sure. Yeah, I mean... yeah. Okay. Because there's also justice under civilization. But that's, I feel like, more internal. So if you're talking about internal conflicts, you would be under the civilization domain, right? Your trials and your prison and your all that crap. But if you're talking about external conflicts with other nations, you got a point, Big Surf Bro. Because I feel like the concept that if it's internal, it's civilization, but if it's external, it's knowledge. There's a disconnect there. So War and Peace, would that be under civilization? But I mean, you could be at war, metaphorically, right? You could be at war with just a single other person, you know? Yes, war is usually referring to a larger war between cities, between nations and stuff, but you could be at war with yourself. You could be at peace with yourself. And I think that's kind of an important distinction. It's a cool... Excuse me. It's a cool sounding blade. God of emotion. That's interesting. Oops. Again, maybe that's a later one. Maybe that's a later one. I like that idea, though. God of emotion. War because they cannot deal with their feelings. Yeah. Okay. Nature would obviously include the elements, right? Okay, yeah, let's try to figure out the mindset of those things. So, so we have the Titans that are present, right? They are still present. It's not like the typical fantasy setting where the Titans have died or fallen down out of power. At least not yet. That might happen at some point, but not yet, right? So the Titans at this time are present, and they are in charge of their particular elements. Storms and natural disasters, use the elements, right? But I mean, yeah, nature would have some say. Like, would storm and natural disasters? I don't know how to think about that. Because then are we saying are all storms, all natural disasters exclusively come from the Titans? The gods aren't responsible whatsoever? It sounds like what we're saying. Or does this nature domain have a little bit of influence with the Titans? Maybe the nature domain has the closest... I mean, that would make sense, right? That the nature domain god has the closest relationship with the Titans. Let me just kind of put that in parentheses here. Closest relationship with the Titans. Got challenges. It's cool. Some influence on storms. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we just disconnect them. Flora and fauna, yeah, that's true. Let me put that. Water, food, flora, fauna. Not the elements and storms, right. So we are saying, I think, the Titans are exclusively in control of basically bad things. Obviously, elements do a lot of good things. But like all storms and natural disasters. Are the Titans just angry a lot? And so they just kind of have a tsunami on me, you know? Are they? Yeah, we'll have to figure out maybe some personalities. That'd be kind of interesting of these Titans and of these gods. Anybody have any other thoughts on that kind of element? The relationship between the Titans and these gods? But in particular the nature god? Do they have any kind of connection, any kind of relationship, any kind of whatever? Or are they just kind of isolated from each other and kind of do their own thing? Do the Titans maybe, Great Dini, the Titans, you know, send out these storms and stuff? Harpo. maybe. You get a tsunami. You get a tsunami. Do the Titans send out the storms and the natural disasters, but then this nature domain god kind of tempers them so it doesn't cause utter destruction everywhere? I mean, it still causes destruction, but like maybe this god tempers those storms and make them not as bad. Yeah, you like that? Okay, I think I like that too. So like, if you're, because I don't think you can pray to the Titans, right? On a mortal level, I don't think you can pray to the Titans. They don't care. They don't care about you anymore. They've kind of come away from the world a little bit and kind of letting it run, and then just be like, take the tsunami, you take a hurricane, you know. So like, if you're sailing on in the ocean, right? You can't pray to the Titan to have good storm or good weather, but you can pray to the nature domain god to temper that storm. I like that. What do we think? I like that. That makes sense. Yes, I like the enthusiasm. Okay, so he doesn't control the storms, but he can temper them. I don't know how to type that eloquently. How do I type that nicely and briefly? I can just type tempers natural disasters / storms. Yeah. Okay. I think that's a good context that we can look at these deities. Like, if you were on the mortal level, that is. If you're a god and you want to pray about something, who are you going to pray to about that thing? Storm mitigation. The god of storm mitigation, my favorite god. Is this working now?
Stupid man!
There you go, Great Dini. That's your follow. We're working now. I am a stupid man thing. Thank you. Okay. I think we're ready to move on from domains for now. We might come back and add stuff. But like I was saying, I think that's a good context to look at these gods. Like, who do I pray to for this thing? If I'm doing this activity or this challenge? Who do I pray to gain help? Sorry, we don't have enough money for a level 8 hurricane, so we'll be on level 5. I hope that's okay. Yes, indeed. Names. Anybody have any awesome names? I don't know how to come up with these names. Should it be like apt? You know what I mean? Should it be determined by their domain? Or should they just be badass names? What do we think? I could see it going either way. Because, like, you know, the gods of the typical fantasy realms, I don't think are necessarily determined by their domain. They just have cool names. Like Moradin, right? That's a dwarven name. He's the god of dwarves. So I guess that would be the connection there. But, you know, he's the god of what? Hammers? He's the god of craft, right? That doesn't come from craft, for instance. Like Moradin, there's no root, right, that goes to craft or construction. There are dwarves and elves, so we should use that. What do you mean? Oh, if they are originally. Because in my mind, they are originally dwarves and elves, yes, but they have become a separate thing. They've become gods, right? So I don't think they will see themselves as dwarves and elves anymore, because they have found their own identity within their domains. So I don't think we should necessarily go based off their original races, necessarily. We can maybe use it as inspiration, but yeah. I don't think we should be beholden to that necessarily. It's like, let's use that exercise, right? So life, death. Life, death. Determined by domain or having relation to something that makes much easier for players and you to remember usually. That's true. But I do like just badass names too. Okay. That's true. It doesn't make them easy to remember. So, like, let's go based off of that for now. Life, death. Morbid, right? Morbid means death. Mortuary, more. Maybe that. But it's also life. It's like, I don't know what to do with that. Shantali, the god of knowledge. Is that based on everything, or is it just a cool name? Shantale. Try to feel it out. Shantale, the god of knowledge. What means life? Biomord? Biomort, the god of life and death. I mean, to be honest, it's not bad. Biomort? I'm just going to type it, see what it looks like. Biomort. It looks stupid. It looks stupid and it sounds stupid. So I don't think we're going to go with that. Chantal is a name in Germany. Oh, okay. Fascinating. Fascinating. What is the root for life? I don't know how to type this. Root. No, yeah, I knew that wasn't gonna work. Root. Latin root for life. That's right. Yeah. Vivere. Viv. Okay. Viv. Latin root for death. Mort. Yeah. Vivamort. I don't like ending with mort. I don't like that. That sounds stupid. Mortaviv. Vivamore. Getting rid of the T. That makes a big difference, I think. Vivamore. What do we think about that? 2 R's? Vivamore. I kind of like that. Elama means life and finish. Okay. Mortarian. Mortarian. No, I don't think that's the one. I don't like the mort. I realized. I don't like that T. It's too hard. It's too hard for life and death. Elama. That's pretty good. What do we think about Vivamore? I'm kind of getting attached to it the more I say it. What do we think about that? Because llama means life, right? But it is really about both. What about light and darkness? Let's look at those. All right, right, lux or lumen. Umbra, right. Umbra lux. Umbra lumen, no. Lux umbra. I think it's too hard. I don't like the lux either. I don't like the hardness of the X. Lumen umbra. No, that's just stupid. Lumbra. Nope. This is how you come up with names. You just say stupid things until one works. DM tip for you. Lumumbra. Lumumbra. No. I like Viva more. I'm not getting any opinions though. Do we not like it? You can be honest with me. Umbratail. Okay. That sounds like Undertale. Okay. How about nature? I did notice, yes. The god of storm mitigation. In different languages to come? It's good. It's a good idea. I like Latin roots. I like using Latin. You're smart. You realized that if you put a link, it wasn't going to post. You're smart. What? In the different... Oh, no, that's right. Okay. Yeah, so let me put death in here. Yeah, mort. Dude. Oh, I also really like looking at Norse. The Old Norse. I'm a big God of War fan. And I love their words and the way they say things. Like Dauda, Icelandic. Does Norse have its own thing in here? Norwegian? Dod.
Du.
Du. Du. Morte. Muerte, right? Eventually, I would like a bunch of different like cultures from all over the world to get some influence into the world. But I think at the beginning, I want to go Latin, Norse, that kind of stuff. Greek, what that crap? Oh, Thanatos, that's right. Thanatos is death, the god of death. Yeah. It's like a life. You're German? Good to know. Leben. Did I say it right?
Leben.
I did. I learned a tad of German on Duolingo. Bier oder Wasser. Oh, sorry. Bier oder Wasser. That's how you say. German for thunder? What's German for thunder? Oh, Donner. Oh. Donner. Schuss. By the way, that's the best goodbye, I think, in any language. Schuss. It's like so many silent letters. I love it. Schuss. It feels fun to say. You know? Do you agree, Hoilepa? Blitz equals lightning. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. That's where we get our use, our word, the word blitz, because blitz is used everywhere because of how it's used in Germany. Blitzkrieg. Okay, yeah. So you're going to nature now. Yeah. Let me just look at a couple more things before we do that. Light. Ilum, Ilum is good. It's like Star Wars. You spell it like shoot. What? Shoes? Is that what you're referring to? Isn't it spelled like that? Lutz. This is great content, I know. Let me look at darkness. Shoes and shoes are spelled different. Gotcha. Do they mean two different things, those two things? Dark is... Where's Latin? Is Latin not on here? I'm learning Italian right now, so I know quite a bit of Italian. Okay. Nature. Let me just look at nature first off. Because I don't want to go specific, like... Shoes is like... Shoot from a gun. Shoes is a goodbye. Gotcha. Interesting. Cool. Good to know. Nature. Natura. Natur. Natur. Nadur. Oh, I like the Irish. Nadur. How about the Norwegian? Natar.
Natur.
Natur. Gaelic. Oh man, you don't have a audio? Prírode. What is that?
Prírody.
Prírode. Natur. Vivimore. I mean, but like, I don't want the god of nature to be like Natur. That's lame. So let's come up with something else. I like the idea of, the lightning and the thunder that you were saying in German earlier, Huelepa. But I think the god of lightning and thunder might come, be one that branches off. And I feel like that one should be that name. I don't feel like this one should be that name, though. Because this is a god of a bunch of stuff. Like food, flora, fauna, storm mitigation. Yes, but again, I don't want to focus too much on that, because they're creating their own identities. But go ahead with your thought. Curious where you're going from that. It's like I don't have these defined right as dwarven and elven at the moment. What would they be defined as? Civilization would definitely be elven. Well, actually, no, that would be dwarven. Knowledge is elven. Nature is elven. Life path is dwarven, maybe, if I had to choose. After you name them. Yeah, true. I think the dwarves or the elves would be based off the domains themselves, because I think they fit really well. I think life and death would be a dwarf. Nature would be an elf. Civilization would be a dwarf. Knowledge would be an elf. Like, because of the name. Oh, true. True. Like, if we were between two. If they were dwarf and elf, it might matter. Yeah, that's true. Whew. Feel free to redeem hydrate every so often to make me keep drinking. Because I need it. Okay, so let's look up, out of curiosity, bad ass deity names. But see, these are already gods. I want some, like, Beyonce? Okay. I'm down. Why is Beyonce in the 5? Okay, never mind. I mean, sure. That makes sense to me. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really gonna find. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I agree. I don't remember the exact URL. Okay, it's generators.com. Gotcha. Let's see, fantasy and folklore. This website can have some crazy ass names though. Like let's look at these. What the crap are these? Weircog, Barakurim, Angra. Angra is actually pretty good. Warumi, Nabrug, Alpha Gorlum. So I take very little from these guys. And it is probably a male dwarf, a female dwarf. Oh, is there a god and goddess? Okay, good to know. And a male elf and a female elf. The Titans originally, they probably chose that way. God names? It's under God. God and goddesses names. Okay. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Thank you. Dude. Let me just look at neutral names. Curiosity. Kusis, Anian, Sivan. Ooh, I kind of like Sivan. Sounds cool. Oh, it's in saving mode? Oh, that's cool. Oh, dang. Because I highlighted it? If I just click one, will it do that? Okay, good to know. Kildir. I like that one too. Oxtus. Like Sivan too. Yeah, I'll give that at the top of my list there. Kirnir. I liked it for a second, but then I didn't. Theoni. Rebris. Oyoni. Ogor. Kind of like Ogor. Not like Ogor. That sounds stupid, but Ogor. Ogor. Norse god of run house kicks. I like it. I'll keep it in mind. Roundhouse kicks. That makes more sense. Rihor. Ogor. Ogor. Kind of with that roll at the end. I like that. Idbeam. Okay, let's look at female. Neoni. Udana. Ooh, that's a good one. Udana. Kilare. Okay, wait 2 seconds. I'm naming crap in the world. Yeah, I'm probably the same. Yeah, if y'all are curious, the way I run my game is I like to I need to turn. Oh, see my sweat. Don't like that. I like to take stuff from a bunch of sources and kind of cram them together, and then adapt, and then put my own stuff, and then so like for instance, I'm running Dead and Thay, which is in the Tales of the Yawning Portal. I'm running that right now, but not for its reasons that it says, right? I have altered things within the dungeon. They're there for a different reason than was said. Like they're saving a friend. To make that a gimmick of your world. Yeah, names of power, and if mortals learn the names of gods, they could control them. I mean, yeah, probably. Probably not, though. Oh, the original names, though. Maybe we should come up with the original names for that reason. Ooh, I like that. These names, everybody's gonna know, because that's their identity. That's their godly identity. Yeah, that's how I run my games. I like to take things from various sources and adapt them. Let me pause this video. Not giving Mr. Beast any publicity. His presidential announcement? What? That's not real, right? Is that just one of those clickbait things? Okay. Radia. Chimera. I like that. Who can order a god around is nasty. It's true. Yeah, and we're talking about right now, we're like way in prehistory. Like liken it to prehistory of our world, right? There's nothing being written down. So if you have a name, an original name of one of these gods, that would be wild. Like that would be very, very rare because it's not written down anywhere. I mean, these were powerful figures, right, of the time, but it wasn't written down. So that'd be really tough. That'd be really hard to get that, which it should be, to get the original name of a god. Yeah. I've become a little bit of a history buff in the last year or so. So I want to do a lot of things in this world, I think, that have an analog in our real world. But obviously not one to one. I want it to have inspiration. That's what I mean to say. From our real world. Obviously it'll be a fantasy unique world as well. I got better ones from the neutral thing. So Zuhara, that's decent. Emos, Sedan, Ugros, Doyen, Yeldin, Cisis, Zoxaris. Maybe get a big Z in one. Zigvian. Yeah, we don't have. Well, maybe. Well, but yeah, we don't have like evil gods at this point, right? That will come later. That's the motto of the stream. That will come later. That will come later. That will come later. Vutaris. Okay, I think we got some decent names here. Let's go back. I'm gonna put this one over on my other screen here and look at these names. Okay, so let's look at this. Nature domain. That's the one where I don't really want. So some of these can be determined by domain, but some of them will not, because some of them just don't work for the domain, like the nature one. There's no like specific thing I can go for necessarily, because that nature encompasses a lot, right? And I don't want to specify into one of those thingies necessarily. And nature would be just like natura or natura or nacho cheese. You know, I don't want to do any of that, right? So I think that's going to be one of these names. Maybe Savan. I really like Savan. Chimera. Something pretty, right? Mutter. What? Mutter. Doesn't that mean mother? Oh. That's interesting. Mutter natura. Yeah. Vater. Mutter natur. What's German for nature? Is it just natur? What is it? Oh, out of curiosity, is anybody in here a fan of Critical Role? Mutter natur. Nice. I don't think so, but that's funny. Because I am a huge fan of Critical Role. I take a lot of inspiration from there. So that just reminded me of a character from Campaign 2. Yeah, for the most part. So yeah, that reminded me of Caleb. Let's put Savan here for now. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. It makes me jealous too. But I get past it because it's such good storytelling. I'm actually going to see the Critical Role people this weekend at at a convention. Okay. God of civilization. Erg. I mean, yeah, all of these are gonna have like civil, right? Civilization. Bescoffing. Excuse me. Latin root for civil. I think civil comes from directly from Latin. Yes, civilis. Yeah. So that doesn't help. Civ. Yeah. See, I don't want to be that. What? On the nose. What's a word? Not one of these. That's related to civilization. Yeah. What's a synonym for civilization? Word hippo. What is that? A synonym finder? Advancement, progress. Progress is good. Just that word in general. That's a good, vague word for all of these things. Synonym finder, yeah. Okay, good to know. Culture. It's not the god of culture, though. Refinement, sophistication. Culture, customs, way of life, attainments, achievements, society. One could also say it's the god of society. And I want to kind of future-proof this, right? Let me say what I mean by that. So we have here the god of civilization, right? Right now he rules over all what makes up a civilization, right? Agriculture, building, craft, taxes, because it's funny, and justice, right? But later, like I was saying, there might be more gods that kind of take some of that away and become its own deity, right? So now we have two deities, both in that civilization realm. But the first one, still the god of civilization, right? But now this guy is the god of justice, right? I want to make sure that... What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? Does anybody know? I had it clear in my mind. That there's no like overlap between the names, for instance. Because like if I had... Say more things are brought away from the god of civilization, right? The god of justice, the god of craft, the god of agriculture. Is there still enough left in the god of civilization to justify that name? Does that make sense? I think there would be, because there's still a lot of civilization left over from those things. But I want to make that the case for everything we do from here on out, right? So like the god, the Savan, the god of nature right now. I didn't want to make him... Well, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like the same thing, the god of nature. If we branch off from that later, if we have the god of storms, right? And if we have the god of flora and fauna, wildlife, right? Is there still enough left that he is still the god of nature? Because I don't want his name to change. Like, he's still going to be the god of nature. But then we also have the god of storms and the god of wildlife. How is the god of wildlife different from the god of nature? What does the nature rule over, if not the wildlife, and if not the storms? Does that make sense? Or is that just gibberish? It's okay if it's just gibberish. I think I know what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the accurate response. That feels accurate. I get what you're saying, kind of. Yes, that's fair. Where was I going with that? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Is that main God just kind of all encompassing? Yes, but when that justice branches off, the God of civilization will not have any kind of. They're going to be distinct gods, right? The God of justice isn't going to be under the God of civilization. He's going to be his own God. He's equal, right? All the gods will be equal. All the eventual future gods. So I guess what I was trying to say is, God dang it, I lost it again. It's a very heady thing I'm trying to explain, so bear with me. Like, he's all-encompassing for now, the God of civilization. Yeah. None of my enemies will predict what I'm doing. That's correct. He's the God of civilization now, which is all-encompassing. But later, he will not be. Yeah, I don't think I want to be under. I mean, in people's, well, not necessarily in people's minds, but now maybe in these gods' minds, that they think those other gods are under them, right? But those gods don't report to those people, to these gods. Those gods won't have less power than these gods. I mean, they'll have power over their particular things. I mean, or do we do a hierarchy of gods? Or do we do a hierarchy of gods? I mean, we could. We could. But I feel like that just introduces more complications, but maybe those complications could be fun. Maybe those complications could be fun. Goodness. It was 12:40. Gotta get off soon. Circles of gods. I mean, yeah. So if we had a hierarchy, right? We could have, excuse me, these 4 gods. Each one have their kind of subset of gods under them. It's like eventually Vivamore will have a god of family maybe under her, and a god of time. Would it ever be a multi-level hierarchy? Probably not. I'd probably keep it simple to just 2 levels. The upper gods and the lower gods. That could be interesting. Gods that know each other in area of effect but have less to do with other gods. Yeah. I think you're saying what we're saying, yeah. Sivan will be the god of nature overall. But like, okay. But given that, right? Let's go back to that mortal level experiment, exercise. If there is Sivan, the god of nature, but there's also the god of wildlife, right? If you're going on a hunt, who do you pray to? Who do you pray to? Can you pray to either? Do you pray to the god of wildlife specifically because it's more closely related to the thing? If that's the case, in what scenario would you pray to the god of nature? The overall god of nature. If there's ever a thing that is not related to one of the minor gods, you would pray to the major god instead? Or do the major gods not get prayed to? Which is interesting. Or this is kind of more meta level. If you pray to the god of wildlife, are you basically praying to the god of nature? Is it just an aspect of the god of nature? Maybe that's it. They aren't separate. Minor gods are the children of gods. Yeah. But they could just be an aspect of the god of nature, related to related to wildlife. Maybe aspects. Kind of like the isn't it the Hindu Isn't it technically one god that has different aspects? The god of the hunt, right, is the child of the god of nature. Yeah. Do I want to make it that complicated, though? I mean, this is later. We're talking about way later, right? But I want to... I'm bringing this up now because I want to kind of future-proof this. I want to know what that hierarchy is going to be like eventually. Right now, and for probably a while, I think, it's just going to be these 4 deities. That's interesting. Every creature knows these 4 gods. Only specific regions. Can your gods die? Not easily. I mean, the general answer is no. You know, unless something spectacular happens, right? The less civilized creatures would pray to the major gods. Interesting. And I could see the more civilized people, the ones that you're saying know the more specific lower gods. Maybe they even forget about the upper gods at some point. Because theoretically, all the domains of the upper god would have their own aspects. So theoretically, one might forget about the upper gods. Let's call them the major gods and the minor gods. Yeah. I think I'm okay with this idea, this hierarchy, this tiered deity system. So I think we'll have that in the back of our heads as we do this. So basically, all of these different aspects will have its own god that will have its own name related to that domain. And you are worshiping Sivan, right? But a particular aspect that you might call something else. You are praying to Sivan ultimately, but it's a particular version of her, right? Okay, I think so. Also, going through this, I'm trying to, play in my head, playing this out in game. So, like the players, I mean, I guess like you were saying, it depends on where they come from. Like, would they know the god of the hunt? Would they know that it's Sivan ultimately? But like you said, it might just depend. Yeah, question mark indeed. Yeah, that didn't make sense. That's fine. Praying to Sivan through praying to Soluna, for example. Yes. Oh, was that question mark attached to that? Oh, okay. I thought you were just confused at what I was saying, which I agreed with. Praying to Sivan through praying to Soluna. Yes, I think so. Yes. So ultimately, at the end of the day, right, after we add all these gods, there's still only 4 gods, kind of. There's still only 4 beings, yes? There's still only 4 beings, although they have multiple forms that they present themselves in. Yeah? I think so. I think that's what we're saying. I think that's what we're saying. So, therefore, back to this, I think. The name for the domain of civilization, I think we're not going to try to attach civis to it. Or civ. Although I wanted to look at progress, that's true. Latin root for progress. Progradi. Progressus? Progress? We kind of just grab that, okay. Gradim? That's kind of cool. To walk, go. That might not come up, the actual or its spell, or is it simply a part of their mythos? As the gods who made the world, they use different names in their adventures. What adventures? Like before they became gods? As the gods roamed the world, they used different names of their adventures. Did they roam the world? I don't think they did. I don't think they can directly interact with the world. Or be adventurers, for instance. Like, I think they were risen up and they never saw their communities again. They saw them, they saw them from up above, right? And they could interfere with their particular domains. They could, interfere with nature in the case of Savan, or they could help build a bank, for the civilization. I don't know, things like that. They could help agriculture, but they can't actually roam. I don't think. But that's a cool idea. The more I think about it, the more I think these names aren't really said very much. I think the general population at some point, when there are as many gods, knows of only the minor gods. Yeah, I think so. So for all intents and purposes, in my game I'm going to eventually play, all my players will know the minor gods, but not these major god names. At least at base level, right? At common knowledge level. Obviously not obviously. These names are going to be somewhere, / it could be a divine revelation, right, to a cleric or paladin that my name is actually Savan. That kind of thing. But yeah, common knowledge level, I think everybody just knows the minor gods. Now, like I was saying before, I might just do these 4 gods at this point for my first campaign, not quotes, my first campaign, and however long from now, where they just know these gods. They don't have all the minor gods yet. I like that. Erg. Okay, domain of civilization. Let's figure this out. I got Ogor, Udana. Udana's pretty good. Suhara, no. Soxaris, Vutaris. Oh wait, I was gonna use like Gradim. Gradim? That's pretty good. The root Gradi means to go or to follow, like progress. But again, the root, I'm just kind of using the root as inspiration. It doesn't actually need to be 1-to-1 necessarily. Like to go, that's not really civilization, but that's actually to stay. What is stay? Funny enough. Yeah, you like that? Man? Seriously? Sustinio? To remain, sojourn, abide. Innehalten. German has a funny way of being always like harsh. Steel though, I could use steel. How do you pronounce that? Is it just steel?
Stille.
Stille. Stille. I can see that one. Oh, that means silence? Interesting. Or is that wrong? Or does it have a bunch of different meanings? Stille. Quietness, peacefulness. Maybe. It was a typo. Oh, wait, just still? Oh, it's just still?
Still.
Just still. Okay. Okay. Oh, did stay come from French originally? Stare. That's the Latin. Just stand. Esther. No, I think I'm just gonna use one of these words. Or gradim. Is there something else here? Grad. Grad. I like the beginning being grad. Especially like something like gradim, because it sounds dwarven. So maybe that did come from dwarven inspiration. Help me come up with something else. Beginning with grad. So graduin? Graduin? What are we thinking there? Gerald. Interesting. Maybe. Well, we'll think about it. General. No. Godam. I can see that one. Switch my vowel for an A. I like it. Godam. Gustav. Graduld. It's too hard to say. I want it to flow a little better. Gradam. I'm liking Gradam. Jadult. I gotta have the GRA, I think. Gradios. Ooh, gradios. That sounds cool. That has like some Greek vibe. I mean, they all do. Really. Gyarados. Sounds kind of cool. Gradios has some Roman vibes. Gradium. I kind of like that pronunciation better. Gradium. Is this getting old yet? Gradum. No, Gradam. I liked your first one though, really? Really? Gradim? Pronounced like that? Gradim? Gyarados. That was a Pokemon. Oh, I'm not a Pokemon guy. So I wouldn't have noticed. I mean, I would notice the big ones, but not that one. Gradim? I don't know. I like Gradios. I like Gradam. Gradim. The double I. I kind of like that. Gradim. I don't know. Gradim. You gotta say it like that every time. Let me type it. Gradamos. Oh. Just pronounce it like that though. Or Graduim. No, that's stupid. You ever do anything and then like instantly regret it? That's what that was. Gradim. Okay. That might change, but let's go with it. Let's go with it for now. I don't know how I feel about it. Gradim. Savan, Vivamore, Gradim. I think these are pretty decent names so far. Okay, knowledge. What's knowledge? Scientia. Wissen. Hmm. 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 Vicentia? Let me type this. What do you think about that? Vicentia. I kind of like that. Wissenschaft. Go science. Okay. Yeah, I saw Wissen is knowledge. I know it's normally pronounced with a W, but I was kind of using that as inspiration. Vicentia. What do you think about that? Ernera. Mm. Not crazy about that. Ernera. Sounds dorky. Means literally knowledge creation. That's cool. Wissenschaft. I just came up with Vicentia and I actually love it. I don't know, what do y'all think? It's kind of using inspiration from German, the Wissen. I know it's not spelled with a V normally in German, but as inspiration, vis, and then the scientia from Latin for knowledge. Vicentia. I like that. I don't love having two V's, but I think I'm gonna get over it. I think I'm going to get over it. Right? Am I going to get over it? I think so. Vivimor, Savan, Gradim, and Vicentia. I think that's a good collection of 4 godly names. What about you? Vivimor, Savan, Gradim, and Vicentia. Huh. Those are the 4 major deities of this world, I think. Vivimor, the god of life and death. Savan, the god of nature. Gradim, the god of civilization. And Vicentia, the god of knowledge. I think that's pretty good. It's 1 o'clock, huh? Dang. Been going for 3 hours. And this was amazing. Yeah. What was that under the categories I was thinking? Because I was thinking dwarf for the life and death one. Vivimor, I could see that. Gradim is definitely dwarven for civilization, for sure. Savan and Vicentia are definitely of it. Yeah, I think I agree. Yeah, so this would be... I think the gender is also kind of irrelevant when they're a god. But no, but they still have genders, I believe, according to. So I'll put this here. This was a female dwarf. This was a male elf. This was a male dwarf. This was a female elf. That feels good. I think they work with their original races. Again, not really relevant anymore, but who knows. And, again, not like it matters, sort of with their original genders. Which, I guess they still are those genders, right? I mean, we can do whatever we want, but I think it's because it's good to have a gender identity for your deity that you worship, right? It's good to. I mean, some of them obviously don't have to have one or the other. I think these do though. But I mean, if we branch it off, I guess all the minor gods of that particular will also be that gender. Like I said, I don't think it really matters, but it's good to think about. Man, now I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Tomorrow morning. I feel like I should just keep doing this because this was awesome. Or should I do some Stardew? I don't know. Do you like Baldur's Gate 3 by chance? Would you be interested in some streams of that? I've already played it, mind you, and it's amazing. So I love the game. I haven't done a full Dark Urge playthrough though. Yeah, if you want to see what I'm doing, go follow me on Twitter, or X as they call it these days. Stupid. Just thinking. Just thinking. Sorry if I get quiet randomly. I just start thinking. Okay. I think that is where we're going to leave it, guys. This has been fantastic. So much fun. I think I gained like 4 followers, which is amazing. So I really appreciate all of you for that. Let me try to update this again. That's not working right now. Okay, never mind. I think I have 30 followers. So we're almost there, over halfway. That's amazing. I really appreciate all of you for coming in, chatting, giving me all your ideas. Yeah, thanks for coming, man. I really do appreciate that. Whoop whoop. That's right. Yeah. Keep your eye out for my stream. Yeah, I appreciate that. That would be amazing. Keep an eye out for my stream. I think this was very successful, so it makes me want to do more of these. And not just World Building Wednesday, but maybe World Building non-Wednesdays, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, just keep an eye out. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. If you follow me on Twitter, I'll post it there. But if you just come to the stream, next stream, we'll see what we're doing. Otherwise, if I'm not doing this, I'm probably going to be playing Stardew Valley, which has been a lot of fun. So if y'all want to join in for that, it's been great fun. Just hanging out with the chat, adventure building. Yeah, I can do some of that. I can key you into some of my current DMing, NPC building. Great idea. My current DMing. Bring you in on that. Bring you in on my prep for that. That might be really fun too. My artist, BD Bumblebee, can't be here though, because he's in that game. But yeah. Okay. Let's see if we can raid anybody. Because if I raid, and if y'all can tell these people about my stream, that'd be amazing. Let's see if there's anybody raid that's doing like Dungeons and Dragons stuff. Raid channel.